Yeah. Morning, everybody. Welcome to Lockpod, Season 10, Episode 16. This episode brought to you by Prestonmer Insurance Agency. For decades, the Ron J. Prestonmer Insurance Agency has been your trusted neighbor right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. They offer a wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you. The Prestonmer Insurance Agency, today's episode sponsor.
I got to take this off soon. I can't see. And I can't drink my
I like
coffee.
you better
You
like
could
this.
just take the glasses off.
Is that a pervert outfit?
Yes.
Yeah. Can I buy a pervert outfit? Here you go, Mr. Smith.
Why aren't you? You were in costume last two episodes.
I was wearing a tux. It's not costume.
No, what was that? Just mayor wear?
That's how I roll.
I'm
a mayor.
In a tuxedo.
Mayors wear tuxes, dude.
And today?
On podcast. Now I'm dressed like a mayor, like wearing my Hammond Central shit.
Why did it give you a lisp, Kevin? Like
I don't know. I can't like move my. I gotta take.
Can you drink your coffee like that?
No.
You get like hairs in it?
Yeah, I gotta take this off.
Come on, you got to go at least like
It's
5
Halloween,
minutes
dude.
with it on.
You gotta wear it.
All right,
Ridiculous.
Have
This
some
is
respect
pathetic.
for my culture.
All right.
This is Lindsay's
Look at
favorite
Lindsay.
holiday. Yeah, Lindsay's
Oh,
wearing
yeah.
a dinosaur outfit.
I'm an alligator.
Okay.
Oh.
Which is a dinosaur.
It's a big green monster.
True.
It is today's dinosaurs, yes.
You're a cute alligator.
This is a reason
Thank
why
you.
I would
I've got
never
a
grow a
tail,
beard.
too.
Really?
Nice.
Nice. Are
Very
you coming
cute,
over tonight?
Lens.
By the way?
No?
Okay.
No.
Why, are you doing something?
Halloween, dude. It's our neighborhood.
It's like
yeah,
a national holiday in your neighborhood.
well,
It is.
my neighborhood, we get trick-or-treaters, too. I
How many
can't
you
just
get?
abandon.
Let me laugh real
Not
quick.
as much as you, but
Dude,
enough.
we had 600 last year.
That is
What?
crazy.
It's a freaking tax. We pay higher taxes in the neighborhood. You have to, or else you get egged. So you have to go out and buy candy.
I want 1 year. Let's test this theory because you said that a couple of times that you get egged. If just don't do Halloween
I
one
can't do
year,
it. Not while I'm mayor.
and let's risk it and see what happens.
But I bought 500 candy bars yesterday. 480.
That's a lot.
And then I bought bailout candy.
Let's
It's been-
remember, you give out full size.
Right. So I bought 480 yesterday, and then I bought a bunch of like panic candy to hand out.
because they always need candy, but then
Yeah.
they
gotta
always
have-
end up
you gotta have the
sending
backup.
somebody.
I think I got the right number this year. 600 last year was good weather. Shitty weather tonight. I got 480. I bet you I have extra candy bars.
So you're saying like a 25% decrease due to weather.
Yeah.
20%.
It's cold as crap where we are right now. I
26
know
this morning.
we're talking to people across America right now.
Across the world.
In Hawaii, in Thailand.
This is the Midwest's most dangerous podcast.
That's right. And where we are right now, it's cold as hell. Like, you know, wherever you are, like sitting on the beach in Honolulu, wherever you are right now, imagine where we are. It was 30 degrees when I woke up this morning.
26.
Yeah, it's cold.
Chilly.
My dog water was frozen on top.
Whoa.
Yeah, for my dogs, not
Yeah.
for me. Yeah.
I
know.
figured that's
We make Dad drink his beverages from the
Gotta go out. It
outside.
sucks, man.
dog
That's
water,
how I
also
roll.
known as
Dog water is
Tom's
frozen.
water.
Yeah, welcome. Happy Halloween. It was 80 last week, and it's freaking cold
That is chilly.
as ice right now.
Is it going to snow today?
Yes.
It was
It's
supposed to, but
on
now
the
it doesn't show it.
forecast.
Maybe.
It was on the forecast when I looked this morning.
Who's saying cold as ice? Quick.
Huh?
Who's saying cold as ice? Quick.
Foreigner. No,
Good job, Kevin.
All I know is Dana
Boogie.
Carvey
Man,
does it in his bit.
that was not. I had. Woo.
You're as cold
I know.
as
I
ice.
had to sing the
You're
first
willing to sacrifice our
verse
love.
poorly.
Right?
Yeah, there you go. Foreigner.
Yeah, Lindsay sang
Wow.
with that band. Little known fact.
I
Oh,
sang
forgot.
as an opening for that.
No.
You g-
no.
no, you guys sang a
no,
song.
No. You sang.
The choir sang
The-
like in
what
the.
song?
Yeah, I wasn't
I want
there.
to know what love is.
Yes.
I
Yes.
wasn't
I want
there.
you to show me. Lindsay was
Lindsay's
in that
saying
song.
she wasn't there.
I wasn't
She was there.
Dad.
You were there.
No, I wasn't,
Dude,
Dad.
you're high.
I'm a huge fan of Foreigner. I was not there.
I thought you were with Book
No.
Expressions and Bands.
Oh,
when
wait,
they
where's
sang on
Tommy?
stage.
We
Was
did.
Tommy?
Tommy was there, but
Yes.
we
Oh, it was
opened.
Tommy?
We opened during the
Oh, my
festival,
bad.
singing the
All right.
like as in
I
like
thought
a-
you were with Book Expressions
No,
and Band that
and
year.
then I did.
Marissa
Oh
will
my God! Can you
clarify.
let me talk and explain the situation? Okay. Okay. During the summer, I helped teach books, brushes, and bands that year, and I helped kind of with the little kid choir.
Uh-huh.
We opened for a Festival of the Lakes band, not Foreigner, but then a week later, Foreigner did perform at the Pavilion, but I was back in college
With
at that point.
Book Expressions and Bands.
With my choir kids that
Yeah.
I taught that
Right.
year, but I wasn't there.
I thought you
All
were
right,
in
can
that.
you do the sound effect again?
That was
That's what
pretty
she's
funny.
gonna do, and she's pissed
she
at
gets
you.
super pissed. She growls. You have to wear that every day now.
Good. It's
Yeah,
comfortable.
Right. Well,
Ah, that's
I mean,
our
this
show.
Is a podcast. This is
Have
a
a good one.
podcast.
Season 15. It says season 10, episode 16.
The last show was good, by the way. I listened to it. I listened to all of them. I listened to it right away, though. I listened to it on my bike, and
So
I
when
was
you-
actually laughing a couple. Dude, I booted up an old show,
Mm-hmm.
one that we did like 3 or 4 weeks ago. straight laughing. Because, like, it's funny because when I listen to the show right after we get done with it, I already know it's coming, so you don't really laugh as much. So, like, I played an old one, and I didn't remember what we did on it, and it was freaking hilarious.
Dad was laughing at his own jokes. He was like,
was?
"Oh, that Tom McDermott."
Who is this guy?
character."
I was saying, God, this guy's brilliant.
This guy calls himself the locomotive.
Who is this guy?
He's
I
hilarious.
naturally- he is
That
hilarious.
locomotive's
He's
hilarious.
my favorite.
He is my favorite. I don't know.
Speaking of good shows, I was not kidding when I created the caption today, folks, about a guest who can prove aliens are real. There's a guest coming on. Thanks to Steve.
Mm-hmm.
He found a guest who can prove Bigfoot and aliens are real.
And I made him move him from Friday show to a Tuesday
That's
show,
right.
That
so
was
I
smart.
could
It's
be
perfect
here.
for Halloween.
Yeah, this is right up Lindsay's.
But also,
Lindsay's
that's
sweet spot.
my thing.
Lockpod Halloween edition.
Cryptozoology and Lindsay.
Cryptozoology, ufology.
So this dude is going to talk about Bigfoot and aliens?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, there's video evidence too. We're gonna show.
There actually was a
So-
video a couple days ago that came out, a UFO video over Friendly, Indiana.
I saw that.
Why is it always like the super rural parts? Why doesn't
Because
a
there's
UFO
less
ever go
people
to
there.
like the Loop in downtown Chicago?
Because they'll
Right?
be seen
It's always
there.
middle of nowhere.
It's always some freaking hillbilly who's drinking 14 beers and then he sees a UFO and we're
Area
supposed to,
51.
right? Like, come on. I want a UFO to land at freaking Soldier Field. Then nobody will doubt it. It's
Yeah,
always
but,
some
like, if
rando.
they wanted to
Everybody's
be
got a phone
seen-
too, Lindsay.
Hasn't everyone been to Friendly, Indiana?
Freaking Friendly. I ran for U.S. Senate. I didn't go to Friendly, Indiana. Like, everybody's got a phone. How come we don't have like a good video of an alien walking off
The
the
footage
ship?
was pretty convincing to me.
It's not-
I've seen that UFO.
Well, wait
once
till
or
you see
twice.
Jon Stewart come in and talk about the 1997 pre any like smartphone stuff,
Right.
or talk about the 1997 alien interview. This
Okay.
is what's going to be interesting.
You know what
Love
else?
it.
Like zooming out from that thought is why are like 90% of alien sightings in America?
Yeah, it's a good point.
That's
wow,
a stat.
that
yeah.
is a great
Yeah.
point, John.
Like,
only
oh,
aliens visit only America.
Exactly, yeah.
Right?
I mean, if I were going to do a
That's
drive-by
great.
stop over at Earth, I'd probably go to the United States as well.
Yeah, why couldn't some like tribe in Zimbabwe or something like see like
Well,
a UFO
maybe
land?
maybe they
right?
Or
have,
Antarctica.
but they don't have
Yeah,
phones to
right?
tell us.
But like I'm sure they
Oh.
have means of communicating. They could like make a drawing or something.
sure.
Right.
Sure, and
This
then
is what it
what?
looked
Mail
like.
it somewhere.
Maybe that's what
Yeah, like mail it to us.
There were some footage. Some pieces of footage have been coming out of South America recently.
Recently,
Yeah, like the rural parts, like in the jungle. Come on now.
it's going to be good.
There's no information about this Friendly, Indiana UFO. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
I'll
bullshit.
find it.
I saw it last night on TikTok.
What?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, dude.
Friendship, Indiana.
Oh, French.
French
See,
ship.
I don't even
Okay,
know the
there
name
you
of it.
go.
No wonder I lost.
Where is it?
Friendship,
Oh,
Indiana.
it looks very urban.
Yeah. Population 12.
Like, look at it on the
Found it.
map. It's like
Population
nothing.
Hoosiers
It's like
on
one
high
large
alert
family.
for UFOs after military downs 4 flying objects.
Yep, I was up all freaking night on my patio. There's a UFO in Friendship, Indiana.
I thought, John, I've never thought about that. 90% are
Yeah,
in the U.S.
it's some
yeah,
crazy
that's
number.
good. I like it. By the way, did you guys buy your Halloween candy yet? We were talking about. Mine
Yes.
was like $400 yesterday.
Whoa, that
Freaking
was,
Biden.
I went to Costco.
Bidenomics.
Mhm.
Biting.
We
Bite
spent
me in the ass.
$60 on our candy.
By the way,
What the hell did you get? Like candy corn?
no.
Like crappy stuff?
We got 2 bags of 350 pieces of chocolate.
All right, I want some. I want you to
No.
give me a. I got
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
good
it's a
stuff.
video.
First off, I got like full like candy bars.
Well, okay,
Right, you
sorry,
said
not
that.
everybody's making a decent living right now. Some of us are students.
Yeah.
showing
that's
off
what
again. You want to
Yeah.
show off about how many people you have.
You
want to
get
show
your
off the type of
billfold out
candy.
You guys
too
wanna have a
and flap
contest?
it
You want to have
around?
you want to show off about your tuxedo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dad
you
is
wanna
like
have a contest?
he's been real.
You've been
like,
laughing at yourself
elitist
while listening
lately.
to podcasts.
I know. I like. That's all I do. I sit around. and
Dad shows up in his tux and he's, I spent $600 on candy.
You know, I noticed Lindsay got dressed up in this dinosaur outfit, and she's very.
I'm
all
feeling
like
like
edgy.
a new
That's
woman
the thing
today.
about Halloween. Halloween, like people get edgy on Halloween.
Well, this is my number one. This is the peak of the year.
I know it is.
I got engaged
Over the
3
birth of
years
the
ago
Lord. Over the
today.
birth of the Lord, she'll choose Halloween.
Oh boy!
100.
There we go.
There you
Our
go.
conservative audience just left.
Hey, let's talk international politics.
Yes. Or update. How about an international politics update?
Hey, could you do the?
I should do that.
Could you? Could you?
Yeah.
Are you gonna bring it in?
You do it.
All right.
Who, me?
No, you got to do the.
We just need the
man.
audio, John.
Yeah.
Oh, I only know the
Kevin and I
lips.
were like, all right. Oh,
Breaking
the soundboard.
news.
We have
John,
a
the button, the
soundboard.
breaking news soundboard,
Don't we
John.
have a breaking
Oh,
news?
you-
Yeah,
Things
you
are a
like-
mess today.
All right.
All right,
hold
let's go.
on. Here we go.
This is your thing.
Oh, there it is.
Breaking news on Lockpod. Actually, an update. Gavin Newsom falls on Chinese boy.
Yes. Gavin Newsom falls on Chinese boy. We were like talking about what a great job he's doing running for president of the United States, going out there and making the world take notice of the governor of California. And then last week he caused international tension when playing basketball with an 8-year-old Chinese boy when Governor Newsom fell hard right on top of the Chinese boy.
I feel like, is this a requirement for all Americans when they go to China?
I did
They
go
make
to-
us play basketball?
I played basketball when I went to China.
Yeah, I know. I was
They
going to
weren't-
say, they
I was
made
on-
Dad play basketball. He's not even that good at
Dude,
basketball.
when I played basketball, I could tell you there was way more people watching me than Governor Newsom's basketball game
So,
with
like-
the air quotes game.
A couple things about this. One, I think he is like literally up against little kids.
Yeah, this
So
kid is 8 years old.
There is
probably.
no reason for him to like try
That's
to like
a full-size Chinese man. What are you talking about?
Careful, we're canceled.
I didn't say Chinaman.
Canceled
You
in
did not
China.
say
I said
Chinaman.
Chinese
Yeah,
man.
if we didn't get canceled after that bit, you could say that kid's a full-grown man. That was the end of the season too. That one stuck for a bit.
Yeah, that'll be the title.
Yeah.
Number one, he's trying to make a move on like an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Bad decision.
Like a basketball move.
A
A basketball
basketball
move, yes.
Right.
He's trying to make he's trying to like drive the lane against
Yeah.
a little kid, right?
Yeah.
And
He wants to show people, look at me. Like, first
Toss
off,
me the rock.
Governor Newsom's literally the tallest person in China. So, like, he's already got an advantage. But he has to, like, make this 8-year-old look bad, I guess.
And then number two, it's like, wouldn't you in this situation just like take a couple shots and walk away?
Yeah. I
Like,
would.
what is he like?
He's,
I
like,
got to
driving
dribble between my
backwards into-
legs
right.
and like spin move.
First, he's got to try and spin the ball in his finger. which doesn't work.
Unsuccessfully.
Did he? All right, let's watch
we
it.
go.
All right,
You
here
know,
we
I
go.
know you guys are making.
All right.
the
Unsuccessful.
whistle.
He did it.
Some
all right.
awkward moments during Governor Newsom's China
There he goes,
trip
back,
over
back
the
into
weekend.
him,
He was
back
showing
in.
off his basketball
hard
moves.
charge into
Drew
the
lost
little
students when he
kid.
lost
That's an
his
offensive
footing.
foul.
Then he
Took
spanks the
down a
kid.
child.
Spanks him,
That's
which
the
is-
national
Basketball moves.
incident.
He did a little
China
bounce.
trip over the
Yeah.
weekend. He
Well,
was
he
showing
good
off his
fall.
Why did he
basketball
spank
moves.
the kid just to
Group
like?
of students
he
when
was,
he
like,
lost his
horribly
footing
humiliated.
took down a child as he fell onto the court.
And
Happened
he's
during
like,
a
oh,
shop in
shit.
Beijing.
All the cameras are on.
After tumbling on the child, Newsom
Oh,
laughed,
he, like,
patted him on
charged
the
hard
back,
right
and
into the
told him,
kid.
Poor kid.
That is a bad picture right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Governor Newsom causes international
Steals
incident.
child.
He like-
It says your governor
Plows
Newsom
into
plows
kid.
into kid.
I like our headline
There's
way
no
better.
better. Yeah, I do too.
Governor
Exacts
Newsom-
corporal punishment on a small Chinese child.
Governor Newsom falls on Chinese boy. That's just. I think that's the headline.
Yeah,
Plows into kid. It
Yeah.
says. Come on, it doesn't.
he
do it
didn't need to go behind his back. He didn't need to spin move.
No.
No. He's
Just
trying
take
to
a
show off.
shot.
He's 54. He's trying to show off because his glory days are gone. He's trying to be cool.
And the photographers loved it. They were all over it. They were like just
Hell
like
yeah,
went
dude.
crazy.
Governor Newsom just pummeled a little Chinese kid. You gotta you gotta put that on camera.
And to the kid's credit, he's laughing and
You think that's laughing? He
No,
looks
he's
like
crying.
he's crying.
He's
Oh,
like,
no.
let go of me,
I think
pervert.
he's Stop
Nope.
spanking me.
You touched my butt.
He's crying because he he's going to get sentenced to like 40 years hard labor for tripping Gavin Newsom or something.
You brought shame to our
Sent for
country.
reassignment.
Yeah. Jeez, oh Pete.
Oh,
All right, let's go.
Chinese boy missing.
Yeah, right. Harsh labor. He's like, why did he go for the spin move against me?
Yeah. You were supposed to be
My
ready for the spin
weakness.
move.
Just shoot it, American. What's the matter with you?
Why'd you try to take the charge? You
Yeah,
should.
idiot. All right, let's move on. Matthew Perry died.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Friends star.
Tragedy.
It is like, yeah, dude, I was watching TV
He
and I
was
couldn't
your
get away
age,
with
Daddy.
it. I know he was. Like, I couldn't get away with
That
it.
would be
You would've
our
thought-
age, Lindsay.
You would have thought freaking
Sorry.
like a major public figure died, like a politician or like somebody beloved.
He was a major public figure.
Well, it was
Oh,
also,
okay.
you know, he's young. Like, you don't.
54, I agree, Lindsay.
It's not that.
I agree. 54 is tragically young.
Okay.
I think the interesting thing about this is the openness of his battle with addiction. And I had no clue how open he had been. He wrote a book about it. I saw
do
an
want to
inter-
get the book, actually.
I saw an interview with him. He said the question was, do you watch old episodes of Friends? And he said, I don't, because depending on how I look and the weight, I can say drinking, cocaine, opioids, drinking, or whatever it was that he was on.
You
And
could
he's
usually
like, I
tell what
can't,
he was on,
I just
yeah.
can't handle that because it just reminds me of how I should have been dead many times over.
Right. Want to play that clip real quick, John?
Yeah. Bring this in here. It's him talking about his alcoholism.
And alcoholism did not care that I was on Friends, and alcoholism did not care about any of that shit. Alcoholism wants you alone it wants you sick, and then it wants to kill you. In the book, I compare it to the Joker, because the Joker just wants to see the whole world burn. And so does alcoholism and addiction. And it took over decades of my life, and I pray to you, if you worry that you're having this problem, or you know somebody that is, raise your hand, find somebody who's smarter than you about this, and talk to them, and be honest about it, because there are people that will help you, and get their help. It doesn't go away.
Yeah,
See, I don't want to remember Matthew Perry this way.
Right.
he looks like crap. Too,
Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
but that was
it took its toll.
That was
Oh,
a big
yeah.
part of who he was. Like he established like a men's support.
Yeah.
It was a big part of who he was
Foundation.
from 16, Lindsay. He started drinking like very young.
Well,
He's at
yeah,
14.
but when he was able to
14.
get over and kind of move on from all that, he put a lot of money into a foundation that supports men who are struggling with drug
Right,
addiction
I'm
and
sure.
alcohol. Like that was his life's work. Like that's it all culminated to something really positive.
When was your first drink, Kevin?
Probably high school, 15, 16 probably. Yeah, I
Lindsay?
think.
This is my.
I was
I mean,
two-
for you mean like with your buddy, like you know,
first
had a beer
illegal drink.
Yeah, with my buddies.
Not like your
probably
parents let you sip.
15 Right, exactly.
But
Probably
how about
like
the first time you
15.
got drunk?
Yeah,
You had
15,
too much.
16, probably middle of high school.
How about you,
sometime.
Lindsay?
I was too scared to break the rules and make Dad mad, so I actually didn't
That's a
get
good girl.
drunk until I
Wow.
turned 21,
I
and
can't
it
think
was
of-
my birthday.
I didn't drink that much when I was in high school. Mine was probably
I didn't smoke.
16 or 17. Well, you know,
Drinking.
I grew up in California.
Yeah.
So. John, how about you? John was a good
I
boy.
don't drink. What are you talking about?
John, I know you were a good boy when you were young.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
you're still a good boy.
Yeah. I don't really like. I still haven't found anything that I like.
So you didn't drink for a long time.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
But like, so Matthew Perry, I did read part of his obituary and like a lot of his public statements, and he said by the time he graduated high school, he could kill an entire bottle of vodka.
Wow.
Which I'm 54 years old, and I'm proud to say I still can't even do a third of a bottle of vodka without throwing up everywhere. So that's
You know, a couple
pretty-
things that it's interesting to me is that one, it's like this all gets blown up after he passes away. Like we didn't care what Matthew Perry was doing about alcoholism.
Oh, I was aware
2
he
weeks
was-
ago, 3 weeks
Oh,
ago,
I
4
was
weeks
aware.
ago. But now everybody is. Okay,
but you weren't
I think we
aware?
were aware.
I was
sure,
aware,
I was
yeah.
aware, but I think
Because he
now-
looks so different. Like,
Yeah.
he looks horrible.
I mean, I think
We all knew what he looked
We
like.
all knew he had problems,
Right.
but I don't think we knew the extent of his efforts to try to combat that and be a advocate for it. And now I do, and we've seen friends of ours die from
redeeming quality.
alcoholism,
Yeah,
right? We've
Kevin,
seen it.
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
See, it is a serious situation,
Totally.
and I
It's
agree
a
with him.
freaking disease that'll kill you.
It will kill you. And if you are having problems with it, I would encourage you to seek somebody out like he
Alcoholism
did.
is
Go to
horrible.
AA. Go to seek counseling. It's no joke.
I would personally rather see somebody smoke weed any day of the week before, alcohol.
Yeah, I mean,
I personally would. I think it's so mild compared
And-
to alcoholism.
Any addiction is dangerous, but certain addictions like in today's world, heroin,
Yeah.
anything that's laced with
Well-
fentanyl, cocaine, alcohol.
Yeah,
I mean,
that'll kill you.
alcohol is just terrible. It
But
doesn't
like
let you
Kevin,
go.
so like go back to that point though. See, Matthew had plenty of problems. He was obviously an alcoholic, but he also was a cocaine user, a pill user, I believe, heroin. I know he said he was on methadone, which
Yeah.
means he was doing heroin for a while.
It was
right?
probably like pills, like
Right, Lindsay.
Vicodin or something,
Which
not
is
like
exactly it,
needle
Lindsay.
to the vein heroin.
I
but-
agree with you. Well, maybe I'm sure at one point, but who knows, Lindsay? You're right. Okay, but how do you drown in your own pool? I have a pool. I swim often in it by myself at night. If you ever find me dead in my pool, I'm going to tell you straight up I had a heart attack because I'm not going to drown in my own pool. That's my pool. So how do you drown in your own pool?
I think
It's
you take
'cause
a
he-
sedative with alcohol is my guess.
So you
No,
take a pill
I-
with hold on. You take a pill with alcohol.
I think
that's your guess.
anything that is a sedative that gets you so
Wasted.
deep into sleep or deep, yeah, right. And
You don't even realize you're
lethargic.
underwater.
Don't realize you're underwater and you die.
Okay.
I disagree.
What do you think, Lindsay?
Well, the guy, like his big thing was that he was a recovering alcoholic. I think that it's kind of rude to insinuate that he died because
Well, honey,
he
we're
was
just
drinking.
speculating. We're
but-
like
Total
just-
No,
speculation.
well,
he's a public figure. He
but
died.
in
That's
the
part
grand
of the
scheme
game.
of things, what I told Brian and I told a couple other people this in nursing school, like this is what I think is what actually happened. I think because of his heart and just the fact that he had been abusing it for so long, I think he had a heart attack and
Okay.
slipped under the water.
Yeah, totally could.
Okay.
Also true.
That's
Also
yours.
could-
You're on the record. I'm going to say.
Plus, he was in the hot tub. That's gonna do it.
All right, I'm going to say. Well, that's a good call. I'm going to say fentanyl.
Mhm.
54-year-olds just die out of nowhere. 54-year-olds don't typically have heart attacks out of nowhere. I think Kevin's is solid. I think that's definitely, and I think I've seen too many people as mayor. I mean, just last week, I see too many people dying from taking a pill. And once I heard he was a cocaine user, and once I heard he takes pills, that's where my mind went.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope
I'm wrong too.
I hope it was just a heart attack.
I hope Lindsay's right.
Yeah,
I think that's the cleanest way.
That his heart's weak.
You say that people at 54 don't just have heart attacks, but people who have been abusing alcohol their entire adult life
All right.
have
Sure.
heart attacks.
We're
at
on the
54.
record. John, what's your call?
I'm going to go with Lindsay as well.
All right.
You
I'm going to
kiss-ass.
do my best here to think of this man like he went out. It was an accident.
Listen, man,
Yeah.
we're just speculating on a
I
public
hear you.
death, right?
Oh, yeah,
This
I
is
hope I'm wrong.
I hope I'm wrong too.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling I might be right.
John, I know.
I think Kevin's most likely right.
I hope
Personally.
not. I mean, that's kind of. In a way, I feel like I'm being mean to the guy if I'm wrong, but I don't know. Just seems weird that he's in the hot tub.
Yeah.
I think Marissa said something on the chat that don't forget the hot tub makes your blood pressure lower, so that's another factor. So I mean, I
I'm
don't know.
throwing my wife under the bus.
No. I think it's interesting.
Just
She's
like-
right. I didn't think about that.
You're like,
she's right.
Judge McDermott said.
Yes.
Anyway,
Rest in peace.
Always
Rest
respect
in
the
peace,
judge.
Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a.
He lived a
I
hard
do.
life,
I do
sounds
like how at the end of his life he was trying to help people. I think that's very redeeming quality. And even like in his book, I think there's a lot of. I think it's good for anybody with addictions to be aware of this guy is
The struggles, man.
famous and powerful and wealthy, and he could not shake it. Alcoholism will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
So will pills. So will cocaine, by the way. And I'm not even being blasé by saying that. I hear Kevin gets the same text I do.
I was just gonna say the same thing.
Regularly. People in a small city of 80,000 people, we get regular texts about everyday people that take a pill or do a line of cocaine and freaking die on the spot. It happens regularly. And I talk to my kids about it. And that's why I think the best thing we could do, Matthew Perry's of the world, people like myself that are privy to knowledge that not everybody gets, is to tell everybody that fentanyl is in everything now. Even if you buy weed on the street, you can't trust it. You can't trust anything. If you get even the smallest dose of fentanyl, you will die. And it's everywhere.
Yeah, and I mean, if you would have asked me this like 2 years ago, I'd have been like, that's crazy. But like the fact that Narcan is available, and if you have somebody in your family that is addicted to something that may have fentanyl in it, you should have Narcan in your house. I mean, I'm not
That's
saying
true,
like,
Kevin.
encourage the addiction.
You can get it at Walgreens.
But you need to have it, because I'll tell you this, the text that we get on numerous occasions, they say, it'll say, and they were administered Narcan and were revived.
Yeah.
And so it's no joke.
Every one of our officers has it.
Yeah.
I have Narcan actually in my bag right now.
Do you really, Linz? That's
Yeah.
great.
Smart.
That's nurse. That's a nurse right there.
Well, we had Narcan as when I was a teacher too, just in case.
That's
Okay.
smart. Very smart.
Kids get into random stuff all the time.
Pills.
Like it's important,
Especially
to,
kids. Kids will buy a pill off the street any day of the week, and
Yeah,
they trust
so
everything.
we got Narcan certified, and we always, well, at least I did. It was an optional thing, but I always wanted to be prepared. So.
You know who died from counterfeit prescription pills?
No.
Somebody rich and famous? Prince.
Oh, that's right.
He bought pills off the street because he was addicted to them,
I thought-
obviously. And he
Was there
took,
a doctor involved in that?
I don't know, but I know he had counterfeit prescription pills.
Whoa.
The doctor was involved in Michael Jackson's death.
Right.
Doctor was involved in
right,
Michael
right.
Jackson.
Propofol.
That was like, yeah, right.
Mm.
All right, hey, well, let's change the show notes a little bit. Let's do our ads right now. We'll come back and do Mike Pence and then UAW, okay?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. Start off with Byway Brewing. It's a family-friendly microbrewery. They welcome you to their spacious tap room and their outdoor patio. Enjoy Byway's award-winning craft beer, a chef-driven menu, and craft draft cocktails. Their unique brewing equipment and production facility provides a perfect backdrop for private events, whether it's a bridal shower, a reunion, or a corporate party. With Byway's new food truck, they can cater to your corporate and private events off-site. Customer service is their top priority. Just off 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Come on by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu.
Ku Klux Law. Are you currently navigating legal, complex challenges, unsure of where to turn for guidance? Your search ends here with Ku Klux Law, your trusted partner for legal solutions in Indiana and Illinois. Whether you're seeking expert representation for real estate transactions, need assistance in forming your business, or have experienced a personal injury at work or in a car crash, Ku Klux Law is here for you. No matter the nature of your legal issue, their team is ready to help. So call Ku Klux Law today at 219-671-6347. That's 219-671-6347 to schedule your free consultation. Hablamos Español.
Rogers Roofing. When you demand nothing but the best for your home and family, trust the industry leader, Rogers Roofing. For over 54 years, they've been transforming homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland. Their commitment to quality shines through in their roofing, siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the most comprehensive warranties in the business. Visit their website at rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 to schedule your free consultation. That's rogersroofing.com, 933-9145. And remember, at Rogers Roofing, excellence is expected every time.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon sets the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for their iconic red and white label at your local grocery store. Indulge in the finest Mexican products crafted with local expertise and savor the taste of authenticity. Discover the flavors of Tortillas Nuevo Leon today.
You guys are off today.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti, tu familia, de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti, tu familia, de todo corazón.
All right. Hey, former governor of Indiana, running for United States president, former vice president of the United States, Mike Pence. We have his latest campaign stop. Do you have a video of that,
Update.
Oh,
Yeah, we do have a video of his
I don't know
latest
if John
campaign
has it.
stop.
I don't-
This is great.
Do you have that one booted up, John? Doesn't look
Yeah.
like it.
Campaign
Is it?
stop?
No, the campaign stop.
Oh,
No.
I didn't
Dude,
put that in
Kevin had a couple videos of his latest speeches.
in Iowa.
He had one in it was like a pharmacy,
Mm-hmm.
and there was literally like 12 people there.
Yeah.
This was a freaking United States presidential candidate campaign stop. Former vice president of the United States. He had like 12 people at a pharmacy.
And then he had like 13 at a pizza place, and it literally looked like somebody that was running for city council or
And
something.
maybe the pizza wasn't
And
good.
it's literally the same size crowd as if
yeah,
you
he
were
had
running
these
for
like sad little signs, Mike Pence for
for
president.
president.
And it was like a little group where you'd answer questions, and the guy kept asking like conspiracy theory questions.
Yeah, because like
Insanity.
usually when you're running for president, there's hundreds of people there.
Sure.
So if you're like some weird rando with a question about aliens or something, you're not going to be able to get
No.
it through because there's so many people there asking legitimate questions.
Right.
So if you're getting asked questions like that in a presidential stop, you're just desperate for questions.
Like when we have Steven, our guest, in here, Mike Pence had 7 more people than that and was at a presidential stop.
Raising money, running for United States president. It's freaking unbelievable.
It is embarrassing.
I'm embarrassed for him.
I am too.
And then I always tell the story about when I worked with him, and the one time he said before he was going to decide
Every
whether-
time you met with him.
Yeah,
said
he was
this.
going to like pray on it and then get
Mhm.
back to me on whether
That's
he
his
was going to
thing.
help us. And then I heard something similar. He still uses that, which God bless him, man. Listen, I'm not making fun of the man and
Stick
his
to your
religious.
guns.
This guy is very religious, and
At
I'm
least
proud
he's
of him.
not using it as like
He's
a
not.
facade.
He's
it's
not.
legit.
He is totally legit, Lindsay. This guy, honestly, is very religious. I just get uncomfortable when you bring it
Wears
into
it on his sleeve all the time.
But like, okay, if I'm the mayor and I'm calling a governor for helping my city, the last thing, I'll do respect. The last thing I want to hear from the governor is let me pray on it and get back to you. I just don't want to hear
Then he
that.
doesn't get back to you.
And he doesn't get back to me, which
Because
tells me God
said-
hates me, right?
God doesn't
I don't want to hear that
God
shit.
hates
Like,
Hammond.
I already know what's going on, right, between me and the Lord Savior. I don't need Mike Pence to insert himself into that relationship,
And
right?
we talked about, I think recently, it was about maybe an interview that the president had on 60 Minutes and like how dramatic he was. Mike Pence is the king of drama a lot of times, and this interview just got me like, I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Not interview. This is his announcement that he's suspending the exciting campaign he had for president.
I just couldn't sit this one out.
God.
But the Bible tells us
Here we go.
that there's a time for every purpose under heaven. I'm traveling across the country over the past 6 months. I came here to say it's become clear to me. This is not my time.
It was clear to me a long time ago.
So after much prayer and deliberation, I have decided to suspend my campaign for president effective today.
Everyone's cheering, I think.
Yeah.
Now, I'm leaving this campaign, but let me promise you, I will never leave the fight for conservative values, and I will never stop fighting to elect principled Republican leaders.
Yawn. Bye.
Principled Republican
Not
leaders.
Trump, right?
Yeah, that was a very much not Trump.
3
Yeah.
times. He spoke for a minute and a half. He invoked God's name 3 times. Lord
And the
Savior.
Bible.
Hey, the
At a
man is
Bible.
passionate
At a Jewish
about
conference.
his favorite
At a Jewish
book.
conference, right? But like 3 times during that short speech, he invoked, and that's just what you get when you're dealing with him. God bless. Listen, like, I just wonder if, let's say, there was a very popular Baptist minister. I just have a feeling that, I don't know. I just have a feeling that it wouldn't go far in American politics. He got put there by Donald Trump. You know, let's be honest.
Well, he was going to lose as governor of Indiana.
He was going to lose.
We were
have been. It would have
Democrats
changed
were going to
everything.
take. It would have changed the trajectory of politics in Indiana.
In Indiana, Donald Trump, for the better or for worse, Donald Trump changed Indiana politics when he picked Mike Pence because they took a weak ass candidate out of Indiana and they ran
Made him
Holcomb.
a weak ass vice president.
And Holcomb
Actually,
wasn't weak and Holcomb wasn't as offensive. And
no,
Holcomb,
he was just like, hey, he's just a regular
He's
Republican.
just
I
a
think
guy.
he's
Just a guy.
I think he's a moderate
I
Republican.
think Governor Holcomb's done a good job.
I do too.
So
He's probably the best.
And maybe
governor.
that's the
Outside-
problem that Republicans have with him.
Right. That's definitely. He's the best Republican governor I've seen since I've been in politics. I mean,
like
but
Mitch Daniels. a
I like
little bit.
Mitch, but like I like Holcomb better because I think Holcomb actually gives a crap what the Democrats feel.
Yeah.
And I don't really get that feeling for
I-
Mitch.
I guess the
I'll
way
do
I would-
respect to Mitch, and Mitch is a nice guy, and him and I are friends, but he didn't really care about the Democratic point of view very much.
No.
and I
And
think Governor Holcomb does.
I think what Holcomb does is he tends to say what's best for the state, whether it's a Democratic idea or a Republican idea. He still is obviously has conservative values,
Yeah.
and that's fine. It's just that I think he cares about the state and wants to put the state first. And if it happens to be up in Northwest Indiana where he loses, the election in Lake County every time he runs, that doesn't matter to him. So I like that about him. But anyway, interesting that Trump, after Pence dropped out, said the following: "People are leaving the race now, and they're all endorsing me." Trump said at a campaign event in Las Vegas.
I love it.
I didn't hear that.
I
Okay.
love it.
I don't know about
In
Mike
fact, I
Pence.
heard the opposite.
That's so funny.
He's
He said
just making
principle.
things
Yes.
up.
He totally just making shit up.
That he says,
Mike
I don't
Pence
know.
endorsed me.
I don't know about Mike Pence. He should endorse me. You know why? Because I had a great, successful presidency, and he was the vice president. He should endorse me. I chose him.
True.
Made him vice president.
He did.
But people in politics can be very disloyal.
true.
I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, like people in politics will try to kill each other, right? Mr.
Yeah,
Pence,
hang
like
Mike
Mr.
Pence.
Trump? Right.
He said that.
mean-
So during while Mike Pence was his vice president, or shortly thereafter, he called him weak, delusional, wimp, little, and gone to the dark side.
Little.
Little with
Small
two D's.
hands.
Little Mike Pence.
Hey, interesting question in chat. Could Pence run for governor of Indiana
yes,
again?
yes.
He's not termed out yet.
No, he's got one
He
more
only had
term
one
left.
term.
Yeah, he's got one more term
Do you
left.
see
No,
that
no.
possible? No.
Going back to what Kevin and I were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
he
He'd
left.
get beat. Yeah.
He would get beat down. People do not like Mike Pence, even
Well,
Republicans.
and the way that, Rokita would say is that he let Trump down.
right.
Rokita's
Right.
taking the Trump. I mean, if Rokita was running
Think-
for governor, I'm just saying,
And like right now in
the-
Republicanville, it's like if you're not with Trump, you're with Holcomb. Really, I mean, it's like one or the other. And Holcomb,
yeah, because think about it. When Holcomb
Holcomb was
ran
hated.
for his reelection, the Libertarian got
Yeah.
16% of the vote,
Yeah.
17% of the
Yeah.
vote. And so, to me, John, the Republican governor's race is all about the primary. So you got to run right to win in Indiana.
Yeah.
all right, we got a big topic we have to hit before we bring in our guest too. Is the UAW settled their strike? Did you guys see that?
I did.
With all of the big three, so with Ford,
Not all at the same time.
no, different times. I believe they dealt with Stellantis first,
Right.
and then after that they got Ford.
I
and
thought it was
GM.
Ford, Stellantis, GM, but whatever. I mean, they all happen.
It may have been Ford, Stellantis, but
It doesn't
nonetheless.
matter.
They got all three of them. GM was the last. What they got was so basically the terms of the agreement: 25% general wage increases over 4 years. I believe they got 11% up front, so it's 11, and then the other
11, then 14 over 4 years.
Right,
So
so-
11 first, then 14.
right cost of living adjustments that they lost in previous contracts. They gave it up as UAW gave up cost of living adjustments in 2009. And they got it back, obviously with high inflation. That's a big victory.
Yeah,
for
that
the
was a
union.
concession early on.
Yeah,
when they
2009.
yeah, in
like I just
2009.
said,
Yep,
right,
yep.
yeah. And then they reopened a 1,350 worker factory in Illinois that Stellantis had idled earlier this year. And they're also getting a battery facility that's going to be UAW staffed as part of that. They got Stellantis to do that. They secured the right to strike over plant closures. They got higher pay for temp employees and a shorter 3-year time period in which it takes a production worker to reach the maximum wage.
Yeah, I read that temporary employees can be made full-time within 3 months now. That's
Wow.
a big deal.
So basically, by the end of the contract in 2028, most of the Detroit company's unionized workers would make in the mid-80,000s annually. before overtime.
Say that again?
They're going to be making $85,000 approximately a year before overtime pay.
You know, I was
for
reading
them.
the
I agree.
cost. Oh yeah,
You're
definitely.
a freaking union auto worker
Yeah.
working on a plant, and the
They're
CEO's
making
making
record- yeah.
$25 million a year. Yeah,
Yeah.
pay these
25,
guys.
probably more.
Record
Pay
profits.
these guys.
Record
from all these
profits.
companies.
Make sure the
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
get paid.
Pay
Yeah.
these
And
guys.
I credit. I want to kudos to the president for going out in the picket lines. He did that. He joined them. I think that
Did
only
he?
helps.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
He's
Oh,
the
I didn't
first
know
president
that.
ever to do that.
Wow.
Yes, he is.
Yep. He
With
did
the
that.
UAW.
I think that was good.
But like honestly, the CEOs hate him anyway, so he had nothing to lose.
Sure.
No, and I think he should
No,
be
I've
out there
never-
supporting the workers. It's what the Democratic Party should stand for, and that's what he did. And
Yeah, but
Trump went to
we'll
a
see if the-
non-unionized plant.
We'll see
Talk
if the
about it.
love is returned. I doubt it will be.
I think with UAW it will be.
Yeah,
I don't
but the
think
UAW is pretty hardcore
Yeah.
Democrat.
No.
I had love from the UAW when I ran, but
Yes, you did.
unfortunately, what we're seeing in a lot of the union halls is that they're very, very pro-Trump, very pro-Republican, and they're very, very anti-democratic. And quite frankly, they forgot, it was the Democratic Party that saved their ass and
It's the
gave them the rights
Democratic Party
that they
that supported unions in the first place.
have. Right.
All the fair labor standard, all that stuff. It's
Mhm.
all Democratic, institutions and things that they brought up through Congress. But anyway, good thing the strike's over. I did read something that the plant in Texas that GM was idled was costing GM $130 million a week
Yeah.
to be idle. $130 million. Think about the numbers there, right? John, was your dad happy the strike's over? Or does he
I
care?
haven't talked to him about it yet.
Yeah, John's dad, former UAW worker.
Yeah.
Hey, Ford.
Ford.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love Fords, as you know, John. I have
Mm-hmm.
2 Ford Mustangs, well, a Shelby and a Ford Mustang in my garage right now.
And you have a GM vehicle.
And I only buy American cars. Lindsay knows that was part of her upbringing. It's
And-
we buy American cars in our family.
Does that
Yes.
mean since Tesla's an American car, you might get one of those?
Dad
No, I could-
considered it for a while, but then Elon banned him off of Twitter.
Lindsay knows it
So-
so well. It's so crazy.
I know
She
she
does.
knows. So here's
pays
what
attention.
did you hear? You know what else I read about the UAW? They said one of their things by 2028 is to get Volkswagen, Tesla, and something else unionized, which they're
Wow.
not right now.
Toyota.
Yeah, thank you, Toyota.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Right.
Volkswagen's not.
Volkswagen is not.
Tesla's not. Toyota's not. In fact, I read something yesterday that Tesla has already started the process of becoming organized. So,
Wow.
but at the end of the day, this is going to add about $1,000 per car. This alone, I think it was $900 per car is going to be added to the price right now because of the new wages. And, this just gets passed through, which is what some people call inflation. I'm not
Like
I'm
John
not
said-
upset that the union got this.
No.
But this is inflationary. It's going to
Sure.
raise the price of cars.
More disposable income for people.
Right.
But
less
why-
supply.
why?
Yeah. Why?
Why? Why would it raise the price of a car? We know
They
that
already
the
passed
auto
it through.
companies have
Well, you think
record
the
profits.
CEO is not going to take a cut, dude? He's not.
It's not even a cut. It's just cutting some of the profit.
Well, no. I mean, you're taking labor costs; they're going to go up by 25.
Well, why can't they just cut the profits and then just keep the cars the same price?
yeah,
It's
the taxpayers have,
unbelievable.
because then their stock price is going to fall.
Well, it already is. I mean,
Yeah, it
Ford's
did.
at $10
Dude,
bucks or
Right.
something.
Ford,
I was
shares
shocked about that.
Ford shares closed below $10 each time for the first time since January.
Ford's at
2021.
$10. Amazon's at $120.
GM stock price hit its lowest mark in nearly 7 years, outside of a deep decline after the
That
pandemic.
is crazy.
Yeah,
When you
so
think
I
of
mean-
Ford Motor Company and their stock is $10
And their
a share.
PE, which is a measure of how cheap it is single figures.
Explain what PE is.
PE is a measure, like it's because if you said Ford stock price is $7, I'm making this up, I don't know exactly, and Tesla's no, it's hard to explain.
It's like price over earnings.
You
right?
can't really compare two companies. If you're like, oh, look at Ford's
Mm-hmm.
share price is $7 and GM's 15. You can't really. That doesn't really. It's not. You're
Correct.
comparing apples to oranges. The only way to measure the true cost of a company is to look at the PE ratio. And the PE ratio will tell you if it's a good deal or not. If you look at Ford's PE ratio, it's an extremely good deal. There's just no confidence in the American auto industry right now. Like, it's been that way for a long time. I looked at Ford literally 10 years ago, and I was like, I'm going to buy like 100,000 shares. There's no way this thing.
100,000.
Well, whatever. I was just like thinking, if you, in your mind, and you could do that with leverage, but if you went big, it just makes a lot of sense. So let's say you had that kind of money, and you bought
Right now it'd be $1
50,000
million.
shares. Okay, it
for
would be
100,000
$700,000 if I'm using my hypothetical. Okay, so like if you had that kind of money and you sat on it for freaking 10 years, maybe it's worth 15, bucks a share at the end of 10 years, and you made 150,000 or whatever,
Yeah, you wouldn't think that Ford's going out of business, although it almost did, right?
Well, you never know, but
never
like
know.
you never know.
Yeah.
But this is definitely going to lower the stock price.
I just think it's crazy that you have a company that has a lot of like literally like physical assets, plants, people, machines, capital, and yet it's priced at $10. Then you have like some like only exists on the internet.
Yeah.
That is worth hundreds of dollars
You're
a
right.
share.
Well, Amazon doesn't only exist on the
I don't know.
internet
I'm not
anymore.
using
Right.
Amazon as that
Right.
example, but there are things that
Yeah,
are out
you're
there.
right.
It's like it's only in like
Priceline.com.
There you go.
Right. Priceline.com super expensive.
I
What
guess
is
they
it?
have warehouses, maybe, but
Priceline?
do they? I don't know.
Priceline's
Just-
like a middleman between.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's a
You're
total
right.
internet.
You're
fiction.
absolutely
and I'm
right.
sure they have employees and real estate and stuff like that,
Mhm.
but like there's no hard assets. It's
No,
not
you're
like
right.
if you buy U.S. Steel, you're buying a freaking steel
Yes.
company
Yes.
with assets and
Yes.
like right. If you buy Priceline.com, it's like fluff.
You're
That's-
buying the internet.
That's the 90s internet crash in a nutshell. What you're talking about, Kevin. I love the stock market. You guys, I'm going to start a whole separate show just on the stock market.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hold it up.
All right, let's go. S&P 500 will hit 3,600 one more time. I wrote that in February 21. It looks a lot more.
No,
a lot
February
more
this
like
year.
February of 23. Excuse me.
Coming winter 2023, left of NASDAQ.
Left of
featuring
NASDAQ.
Tom McDermott.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and do some ads. We're going to come back with our guest, John Stewart. That's right. We got John Stewart on.
John
Meet
Stewart,
John
baby.
Stewart.
Stay
John
tuned
Stewart will
in the
be-
studio
Yeah, we'll talk about Bigfoot and aliens and stuff like that.
and wrestling.
Hell yeah.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Don't forget, it's Halloween. Powering Indiana, Lake County. IBEW Local 697 and NECA proudly introduced Powering Indiana, Lake County. With over a century of experience, they've been safely wiring the region. From powering corporations along the lakefront to lighting up homes across the region, Powering Indiana, Lake County is your trusted source for electrical professionals. Visit 697 Jack.
No, we've been reading the wrong
Get the hell
website for
outta
about
here.
a year.
No, we have not.
Yes.
All right. Visit 697 JATC. The other one was a lot better. Visit 697JATC.org. That's 697JATC.org to join us as we continue to light the way for Northwest Indiana.
Jacked was definitely a better, one. Yeah. they
But
should
we
change it.
discovered that JATC is the real website.
All right.
Whoops.
Misprint
Sorry,
Printing.
Steve.
Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. With a 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team, led by Rick Baltzenberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing, always on time and within budget. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today. Misprint, your partner for creating impactful visual solutions.
Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. When you're facing legal challenges or injuries, they're here to guide you through the process. Their dedicated team, including John and Kristen Cantrell, is in court and at the jail every day ready to fight for your rights. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com and discover how they can make a difference in your case.
Calumet Brewing. Busch Light, the coldest and smoothest light lager, is calling you to embrace the great outdoors, the roar of NASCAR, and the joy of cracking a cold one. Celebrate life's moments with the Busch Light. And then head over to Cal Brew on Facebook or Instagram for a chance to win a Busch Light Igloo Cooler. Visit bush.com. That's bush.com. And their social media pages for exciting updates and events. Head for the mountains of Busch Light and enjoy beers and cheers responsibly.
Thank you to our sponsors, including our episode sponsor, the Preston Insurance Agency.
I just have to apologize to John. I didn't think that actually was going to happen.
Which John?
This one, John behind the
I
camera.
thought it was a
Okay.
ghost.
Oh no! The little doodad on his chair is right here, and I kicked it, and he just went.
Oh,
Whoa.
that's funny.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, Steve,
Hey, welcome to the studio. John Stewart, our today's guest.
Thank you very much. Do we have any more sponsors? Are you sure?
no, you mean bring
Kowalski's
them on.
Muffler Shop. Do you
Yes.
want to plug them?
We'll take 'em.
Okay.
Could we get them?
I've
Where are they at?
that'd be
Oak Lawn?
great. I have their instructions up here. Go past the dentist office and then. What am I getting my teeth cleaned?
All right, man. I like it.
No, kidding. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for
Welcome to
coming
the
on.
studio, my
I
friend.
really am. And Steve's been great getting me over here from
He
the
recruited
Chicago
you.
area.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's been great. And I'm excited to be here. I really am.
Thank you.
Two episodes in a row we've had a guest. Last episode, I had a listener say, "How does Steve get these great guests? Where is he finding them?" And I said, "I don't even know. I just show up and
we just mess with Steve.
Internet.
tells us
constantly.
what's going on."
He's like coming through all the time for us, and we're never appreciative.
I know.
Yeah, let's
I'm
talk a little bit more
appreciative.
about that. Let's
Talk
get
about
into that
Steve.
a little bit. John can come back another time. Let's
Yeah, right.
get into
Steve,
how
good job
I'm
with the wrong
underappreciated.
website.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So John,
Might have been me.
Yes.
I have a question as the resident UFO fanatic here in the area. I never get to talk about this stuff.
I
but
just got deja vu, by the way, but go ahead.
yeah,
all over
so,
again.
So
Cool.
did
Should
you
we give
see?
a bio? Okay, we
Oh,
won't,
well,
we'll skip the
No,
bio.
let's just, I'm
No,
just.
let's just jump in. So
Everybody knows
did
who
you
you are.
see the video from Friendship, Indiana, the UFO that was going all over TikTok the other day?
I did not.
Oh, it's so cool.
John, why is it always like rural like parts of America where we're seeing UFOs, and it's never like in downtown Chicago.
Well, that's a little that's a little antagonistic question.
I'm sort of
But-
antagonistic. It's
The-
funny.
I mean, if you want me to answer honestly, people in the rural areas of America are usually outdoors more. I mean, it's just
Oh, really?
everybody in downtown Chicago is watching Orange County Housewives and
Bam.
I like
and
this guy already.
ordering
Thank
pizza.
you,
I like this guy
John.
already.
So
Maybe
yeah,
you need a dark sky to see it.
And
you don't have it in
and
the
anybody else
city.
that says, well, there's always fuzzy pictures, you really need to do a deep dive on YouTube. There are some incredibly vivid, accurate, clear pictures of not only UFOs or bizarreness in the skies, but what I was, and I'm not leading into this, but what I was had investigated for 5 years, which was an actual interrogation of a extraterrestrial in a government facility.
From
So-
1997.
from 1991, actually.
Oh,
put
I
out
heard
into a
something
documentary
else.
in 97.
There
Yeah.
you go.
That's what you're talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah. So
I
that
didn't-
was actually filmed April 22nd,
Is there audio?
1991.
No,
No,
not on this.
The whistleblower removed the audio for fear of compromising anyone inside the room with the being or in the viewing gallery. It did not come to the production company that dark.
Why is it so dark? Yeah.
Okay. It did not come to the production company that dark. They darkened it for dramatic effect. It was a very bluish gray hue to the videotape.
Does that exist? That version?
Yeah, that there's stills of it, and I think I sent Steve a copy, or maybe I didn't. But it's actually a bluish hue. When the two doctors come in, by the way, I have both of their names.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to the widow of the doctor that'll be on the bean's right, our left. When they come in, one of them shines a torchlight on the torso of the bean, and you could clearly see that this is not just a head puppet. And I did a 5-year deep dive on this where military whistleblowers, insiders came forward. I was just in the Capitol Hill on Tuesday, dropping off this entire investigation for the second time to 7 female members of Congress. We still don't know what that bizarre physiological monitor. We've had experts from Space Lab, Hewlett Packard, people that did the history of physiological monitors. No expert in the world knows what that monitor is. And I find that hard to believe that a second-tier production company in California in '96 developed the most bizarre physiological monitor known to man.
Wait, what do you mean monitor?
Well,
Is it
do you
the-
see
the
that little
blip,
blip
the
going up and
blippy,
down
the
on the
blippy
Oh, the
thing.
up and
yeah,
down
yeah,
thing.
yeah, right here.
It does not go across like a traditional
What is that?
physiological monitor.
I
we
think
don't,
it
we
looks
don't
like
know.
it's monitoring, like
heart rate?
it's responding
Right.
to its voice.
Well, I give you a
How do you know there's no audio?
that's not that we don't think that's true. We had a person, a crusty 60-something-year-old engineer from Space Labs who did monitors for NASA, and he said if you had a being with a bizarre heart, lung, one organ, you would have to develop a one-off, a special device to monitor that special type of organ. This is a gray. It's called a haploid. It only has one sexual chromosome. It came from, as outlandish as this sounds, it came from the star system Zeta Reticuli, but mostly important. It came,
Whoa.
Look at
Happy
Excuse me.
Halloween, everybody.
Excuse me. Wait a minute. It came from a planet in that star system called Tau Ceti.
How do we know that?
Well, because it communicated this to the government. And
What are they
Did-
doing right now?
communicate-
They're like
They're
grabbing
choking
well,
him.
it's medically flagging. It's having a respiratory coughing issue. The doctor to the right was a head of the Navy Naval Medical Corps in San Diego. The doctor to the right, to our left, the right of the being, he died in California. I spoke to his widow. She verified that's her husband on the being's right, our left. She said he was very secretive. He never talked about his time in the Army Medical Corps. She thanked me for calling her and bringing about this, which was a conclusion of a mystery of their family. Why is my deceased husband? Why was he so mum about his time in the U.S. Army Medical Corps?
You know, we didn't really give John an opportunity to introduce himself, and I think we want to do that because, and for those that are just listening to the podcast, all our subscribers on Apple Pod and everything like that, you didn't see the video of the alien being that kind of thrust John into the spotlight, especially this year with all the congressional hearings and David Grush, and we're going to get into that. But I want, John, just a little bit of background because you've got a great, interesting background, including something in common with the mayor here. So
yeah, I born and raised in the city of Chicago, about a mile.
never know that by
Yeah,
listening
no
to
kidding.
you.
By a mile from O'Hare Airport. I know. I'm not passionate. That's my problem. I became a high school, college football, a high level football player. Went to Notre Dame College Prep in Niles. Then I went to Memphis State.
Nice.
But I left the team in the spring training to become a pro wrestler. That's the secret why I took that scholarship.
Could you slam John?
So I wrestled for Jerry Lawler. I wrestled for Jerry
outta
Lawler
here.
in 1986. Came back, wrestled for Dick the Bruiser in
Nice.
Indiana, all over Indiana. I know
been at the
every
Hammond
state
Civic
fair.
Center?
At the Hammond Civic Center.
Nice.
Wrestled for Dick the Bruiser in 1988. In 1989, I went to Vern Gagne's AWA on ESPN, and that's the main thrust of my career, which was from 88, the latter part of 88 till 91,
Is there good
where I
money in that?
wrestled as one of the top heels for Vern Gagne on ESPN.
Is there like
yeah.
good money in that? I mean,
Well, not when I did it.
Uh-huh.
You know, only like the top 5 or 6 guys. Now
Uh-huh.
you could be an opening second match with the WWF, or WWE. God forbid I said that.
It was WWF back then.
Yeah, but you could be an opening match, a second round match, maybe go to a couple of pay-per-views for the WWE. Keep your nose clean for 4 or 5 years off the radar screen, and probably have $1 million, $2, $3 million in the bank. I told Dolph Ziggler, just make sure you don't make any noises. You do your best. And stay off the radar screen. They just let him go after 15 years. He's probably got like $10 million in the
Are you
bank.
thinking about, would you go back if you were able to
you
wrestle
look
an
like you
alien?
could.
If I was, if I
Could
was
you wrestle
able,
an alien?
Well, sure. The
And
money.
then what-
No, that's that's.
I'm just curious.
It's antagonistic. It's antagonistic, right?
So
It's
yeah, I would go back.
I'm trying to
I
keep
would
out of
go back
arm's
'cause of
reach
the
from
money.
him.
Yeah, I
I
would
don't
go-
want him grabbing me. And
I would go back for the money, absolutely. But my body just, I've got
You look great.
bilateral tendonitis, and I've got my torn meniscus
from the
in my
wrestling,
knee.
you think?
No, I've got bilateral tendonitis from my ankles from stamping my feet for 30 years.
Well, who knows?
Literally, I've got a torn meniscus for showing off to my daughters at the golf range in Door County, Wisconsin. My back, I've got congenital a birth defect called spinal stenosis, aggravated by the years of wrestling and football, and I fell off a deer stand 5
That'll
years
do
ago
it.
and rearranged my pelvis.
Let me.
I'm a nightmare physically.
I'm gonna guess your football position. I got you.
Okay,
I
go
got
ahead.
you pegged. I mean, you were definitely defensive line.
I was gonna say
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Nose guard, and then
Freaking
in
man, dude.
college.
Because you're small. You
Yeah.
seem like you're not super tall.
I was
but
gonna
you're-
say fullback.
You're
Yeah.
stout. Fullback
Yeah.
would be great.
Nose
too.
guard is worth the craziest person on the team.
Yeah.
He's the nose guard.
You look like you'd be fast too, by the way.
I was do you know the football coach in the movie Rudy, when Rudy was in high school, and he said, Rudy, we're going to be
Dude, I went
that
to
coach
Notre
is
Dame.
Gordy Gillespie. I'm going to brag about myself. I was so quick off the snap that he actually the week before we played Joliet Catholic, he literally went to the IHSA with tapes and said, "This guy is cheating. There's no way he could be that fast off the
love
ball." I would just line up like a sprinter
I like
and
this.
figure this is high school football. The snap is going to be on the first count 50, 60,
figured it out.
70% of the time. Yeah.
So were
And,
you offsides a lot?
a couple of times, but I really could time it. And anyways, in the all conference banquet, I'll finish patting myself on the back. He said, I just want to tell everybody that I've been coaching football for 20 years in Illinois. He's the best defensive lineman I've ever seen. He should have been banned from the league. And
So
it's a
you
nice
went to
plug.
Memphis State from there.
I went to Memphis State, but I went to Memphis State, and the coach was like, to my father, Mr. Stewart, your son's he was a football star. That's great. They're all football stars here.
Right,
He's
yeah.
probably going to ride the bench for 4 years until we get him.
And you're like, I'm
his
getting into
starting position.
wrestling.
My dad goes, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And a week later, one of my fraternity brothers meets a wrestling promoter at a grocery store.
That's
He's
so
like, "We got this
crazy.
crazy fraternity guy. He came here on a scholarship.
Next
He
thing you
wants
know.
to be a pro wrestler." And 8 weeks later, I'm on TV while still at Memphis State
That is
in
hilarious.
college, wrestling and winning matches as the
So were
Beach
you
Boy.
banking? So were you banking? I mean,
Well, I
for
was
a college
like I
student?
was making like $300 a night.
Dude, you're a pimp for $300
right.
a night.
My
right?
first paycheck in 1986 was $925. My rent was $120
There you go.
in a townhouse.
You were the
Think
most
about
popular
that.
I was
person
driving
in
a
Memphis
car my
State.
dad gave me from the car dealership. I had no expenses.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's like making like $3,000 a week now being in college.
So fast forward,
Yes,
right?
yes, sorry.
And you're out of wrestling.
I'm done.
You're a
I'm done
lawyer.
patting myself on the
We
back.
have love
You've
this.
run for Congress, et cetera, et cetera.
You ran for Congress?
That's
Holy
why I
shit!
said you had something
Yeah,
in,
when I moved,
in common.
when my wife and I came
Secretary
back
of
from
State.
our honeymoon, The Democratic Party in Chicago and the Republican Party actually had a bidding war.
Uh-huh.
I'm not lying to you, Mayor.
Uh-huh.
You know, we got to get this. We got to get the wrestler in politics. So when the Democrats or the Republicans,
You should move
wanted
to
me-
Hammond, buddy. I'll get you.
Yeah, they wanted me. So, anyways, when I came back from our honeymoon in '99, Congressman John Porter of the North Shore was vacating. So I got like 3 messages on my machine. You gotta run. You gotta run. And because of Jesse Ventura's fame,
Oh, my
and the
God,
fact that
I
I was a wrestler, my little congressional campaign got national. I was on O'Reilly,
Wow.
Hannity.
No
the New
shit.
York Times did an article on my campaign in the Sunday edition. I was part of what the New York Times called the dirtiest congressional
Really?
race in the history of America. I mean, we basically
What year was that?
we were ready to kill each other. It was in 99, 2000 in the 10th district
Uh-huh.
in the North Shore.
Wow.
Mark Kirk eventually won, became
Yeah,
our
Mark
senator,
Kirk.
Right,
There you
right.
go.
and he
Gotcha.
became one of my friends. I dropped out to endorse him, but it was brutal.
So how do you get from there to alien researcher?
Yeah, it was in 1997 that I saw this bizarre film, Alien Interview.
That's the one we just watched.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be a documentary about a weird-looking guy at the Pentagon heading over a clipboard to a general for a job interview. This comes on. It's not a gray alien. It's brown. It doesn't have almond eyes. It's got round eyes. And the whistleblower, Victor, I've had a psychologist tell me I've met about 10,000 people in my life. He's the smartest person I have ever heard speak in my life, the whistleblower, who's in a voice-altered state talking about this film.
Have you ever met him?
No, he died.
Okay,
He's
gotcha.
dead. That's
dead.
something I can't tell
Whistleblower
you.
is dead.
So let's fast forward to COVID. This thing is always on my brain. I ask a U.S. senator about what's on the bottom, DNI, and that's the Department of Naval Intelligence. He rips my head off. I said, why did 3 letters on a supposed hoax video piss off this senator? Fast forward to
We've got a
2019.
Navy guy here, though. You ever heard of this? Department of Naval Intelligence?
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
agent.
It's a mockery in the Navy. They say stuff like, "Oh, naval intelligence," and usually Navy guys make fun of it because there's no intelligence in a lot of decisions that are made.
But does it exist?
Do you realize what you're saying?
Does
Yeah.
it exist,
Okay.
though?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay.
Why?
I'm
what
not
am I
talk-
saying?
Wait,
Well,
what?
because
Maybe I don't know what I'm saying.
this has been denied. The Department of Naval Intelligence has been denied by everyone.
Oh, really?
You can't Google it. Except I found a friend of mine was a Navy aviator. He said the DNI is real. It's an agency inside the ONI. It's like the spooks, the intelligence division for Office of Naval Intelligence. Department of. So, anyways, I get a
I
call
heard of
from a
naval intelligence when I was in there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well. I don't
Okay.
know.
So I get a call from a producer friend of mine in Hollywood at the start of COVID. Do you have any ideas for a quick documentary? I shoot some ideas to him. I talk about this alien video. He said it's too complicated. It's too deep. I can't touch it. It plays
Hold
on.
on, let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
real
go
quick.
ahead.
ONI, is that maybe it's different? Maybe
You're
that's
right.
what I was thinking
Right.
about.
ONI is searchable.
Okay.
Department of Naval Intelligence
All right.
is off the books. There is no shingle. You can't find it. I was told by 2 people, 2 Navy people, who told me, I have their text, DNI is real. You'll never find it. It's an agency inside the ONI. It's the
And it's
division
on
for the spooks.
and it's on the bottom of the video.
Yes, with the long with slash 27.
Look at that.
Folks, this is the bombshell. I'm going to jump right forward.
Oh, let's go.
27,
Hold on.
27, after 5 years, I see a Ronald Reagan briefing when he was being briefed about extraterrestrials. On top of every Ronald Reagan page in this documentary is 27. I go to my military guy. It was like a scene out of a movie. I said, what in the F is 27? He's like, oh, that's Yankee White. We've been talking for a year.
What's this?
What's Yankee White? He's like, well, Yankee White is a security designation for anyone that deals with, talks, briefs the President of the United States. We have 2 people verified in this room, their names. Both are deceased, who were in the Oval Office breaching George H. Bush. That is why 27 is on the bottom of that film.
It seems like it's in a different font than the numbers, though. Like,
Right.
who stamps
It's
that?
called digital overlay graphic. This was actually cut out at the Area 51 photo lab and put on this video as a system of,
Whoa.
well, listen to me. If you don't have the 27 designation, if this video started playing in a conference room, you would have to remove yourself as a security officer or as a personnel. If you had 27, you could stay in the room and watch this video. That is the bomb. And if you're telling me if this is a hoax, a screenwriter in Southern California, a 23-year-old, knew what 27 Yankee White was, knew that 30 years later we would find out that 2 men in the viewing gallery, there were 6 people in the viewing gallery watching.
How do we know that?
This, well, I've been handed the when this was smuggled out, they made a internal memo from the Defense Intelligence Agency. That's who runs the extraterrestrial retention interrogation program, which David Grush has told everyone that my investigation is real.
Why is this all a secret, though? I don't get that part. Like, what's the big... What is he, like, wants to kill everybody? Like, why is everybody so afraid to tell the American public what's going on?
Okay, first of all, that's a really good question, and I don't want to be glib about it, but the government is terrified of telling the American people, especially back then, we really don't know what the true intent and nature of these beings are, even though they've been coming here for millennia. So the government is not going to stand up and say, we have no idea. Second of all, this is the high ground militarily. You know, in the Civil War, it was a hill. It was an elevation of ground. The high ground today is alien technology. Okay, this is how we are so far advanced.
So so you're saying America wants to get technology from the aliens so that it helps us on Earth.
Exactly,
and gives us a competitive advantage against our
enemies. I have another
enemies.
bombshell about the technology.
But let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
okay, so let's say that Vladimir Putin knows that aliens exist. Why wouldn't Vladimir Putin, who has nothing in common with America at all, release information that would scare the world? If they knew, why is it only Americans get this kind of access? Why wouldn't the aliens fly to South Africa?
They have. There's been UFO researchers in the past 30 years, especially when the fall of the Soviet Union, went into the archives of the Soviet Union and really found the first hard evidence that governments were retrieving craft and biological beings, and the UFO researchers have gotten.
Is this the only video that exists? Is this the only video that we know exists of a alien being, like from another are there other countries?
According to a military intelligence insider that's retired, who was in counterintelligence, he said this is really the only true video of an extraterrestrial.
And do we know the lifespan of this extraterrestrial, if it's still it's being held in captivity?
Came to the facility called S2. Everybody says S4. That's like it came to the facility called S2 Alpha. That's where it was retained.
And where's that?
That's south of Area 51, west of Papoose Lake.
Whoa!
And
I've never been to Papoose
do you have a house?
Sounds nice.
This came in 1889.
He owns a small bed and breakfast.
He runs near Papoose Lake.
See, that's your defense mechanism of making a joke of it.
No.
Because this is terrifying. Because you're going to have to look at your.
No, it's just crazy to me to think some alien lives in Papoose Lake.
I've just never lived. I've never heard of Papoose.
Well, there's a whole
Lake.
complex where they retain and house these beings. This came.
Well, there's more than. So there's more. You're saying that. There's many.
There's been, and this is just me. Gathering all the information for the past 30 years, there's probably been 20 to 30 deceased beings that have been housed in facilities. Walter Reed, Wright-Patterson had what's famously called the Blue Room, an underground facility where these beings were held in cryogenic state. Homestead Air Force Base, they had beings there at one time in cryogenic state. The one person that blew the whistle there said it looked like little Coca-Cola, ice chests.
So I don't want people to think that John is the only one talking about this, because this year's been a kind of a big watershed year regarding ufology, right? And one of the people involved is David Grush. And why don't you just, for our listening and viewing folks, John, explain why David Grush became such a big deal this year?
Again, I went to the New York Times. We met at the Midtown Manhattan last August. I told him the exact David Grush story with names, facilities, dates, men in this program. It's called Project Aquarius. I want to be very clear about that. Project Aquarius. This is all things with contact with extraterrestrials and the reverse engineering of their craft and the biologic material of these beings. And that's the craft, the metallurgy, avionics, flight systems, you name it. And so the New York Times said, look, unless a military person comes forward, which is never going to happen, we can't do anything with this. All of a sudden, David Grush comes forward. So David Grush was tasked by the United States government. He was given a Q clearance. That's the highest clearance that you could get in the United States. And he was tasked with basically investigating every single account that came across the Pentagon's desk about crash retrievals, about soldiers' interaction with beings, because I'm here to tell you, you, most of the Pentagon cannot touch these programs. They don't know anything. They're not read into these programs. This is a certain section of government Pentagon military personnel that have been read in and led into these special access programs because of their intelligence background.
Yeah,
and so David Grush basically said, and I'm going to wrap to Congress under oath. The person tasked with investigating this for the government, he said, we have recovered off-planet craft and biological alien beings. Soldiers have died interacting with the beings, and people have been murdered to keep this a secret. And that is when my wife said, you're going back to Congress. You're going to do every podcast you can to hide this in the open, because are you in trouble too? Because you're the only guy that was talking about this as of recent, the exact program David Grush was talking about.
Well, John, we got your back on Lockpod.
Wow.
Anything happens to you,
I hope so.
We got all that information out.
I don't think that I am in trouble because I don't castigate the government. I understand the secrecy.
You came to the wrong place, buddy.
Well,
we constantly castigate the government.
Well, believe me, on everything else, the government, these buffoons couldn't even choose the leader of the clubhouse until last week. So I'm no fan of Congress. But I understand why they kept the secret. But it's over. It's out, and we need to come clean at least with. We've had aliens. We've had craft. We can't tell you anymore because this is a national. And I get that. Just come clean with us because you're mocking our citizenship and you're belittling our loyalty as Americans. That's my opinion.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and
I appreciate your passion, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
And by the way, all
Really
of our
exciting.
aliens look exactly like the 1977 Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
No, sir.
Everyone that's ever out, they all look exactly like that. But
Yeah.
until that movie came out, no aliens look like that at all.
I've been warned about
And then
talking about
now they all do.
Yeah, they the Greys. This type of species has been coming to our planet for a long
Like you
time.
said, millennia.
They are like the worker bee of the type of aliens from Tau Ceti. And I'm going to give you another bombshell. An agent from the National Air and Space Intelligence Center, who then later threatened me that the Pentagon has put me on a watch list. Before he did that, he told me the new designation. I am giving you the bombshell of the bombshell. The new designation of the shadow government running this of extraterrestrials is saber, like a sword. This is from a person, an agent with the National Air and Space.
Is this going to mess us up, man?
No,
we're going to get
on
arrested
a right
or
path.
something?
Saber.
John Stewart's saying
Synthetic astrobiological extraterrestrial races.
All right.
You told that to a general that
going
knows
to.
about these programs in Virginia at Starbucks. He'd probably spit up his dark horse.
So next time you see a general Lockpod fans,
Well,
you
he's
go out
got
and
to
say,
he's got to be read into these programs.
You're
But
like,
it's
I know
very-
all about
This
Saber.
is very bizarre.
I know all about Saber. and
John,
aliens.
this is a perfect Halloween guest. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Appreciate you coming down.
We didn't even get to talk about Bigfoot. We're going to have to bring you
No.
back.
You're gonna have to come back for that.
That's
we got
my
and I'm an
guy,
expert
though.
on Bigfoot.
So
We're gonna
next
bring
time
him
you
back.
come back, we're talking.
Wait,
all
Bigfoot's
Bigfoot.
real?
Next time.
Well, just remember
Hell yeah,
about
he's
just
real.
remember about Bigfoot. Let me just say real quickly.
Yeah.
It's all publicity. People want attention. Why did American Indians 1,000 years ago talk about Bigfoot, talk about Sasquatch, the Columbia River, Native American Indians? They drew it on cave walls. They wove pictures of Bigfoot onto baskets. Why? Why? Because it was something that was in their environment. So
All
that's
right.
just something
That's
to
for
remember.
that's
But
for
it
next time
disappeared.
John Stewart comes on Lockpod.
John, how long did it take you to get here? So you could do this again?
An hour
Really?
on the
Whoa.
Dan Ryan.
Yeah,
I had
dude,
the
you were
death
in-
grip.
you were in
It was
rush
it was
hour.
the Death Race 3000. I was telling Steve, but I made it.
You're in-
I
you were
want
in
to come
rush
back. I love you guys.
We
I
wanna
love
have
you
you
too,
back.
man.
Thanks
thanks
for
for coming on
allowing me
during
to share
Halloween.
this.
No, dude, you're a
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
guest, Steve.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Brings the
Definitely
energy.
knows his stuff.
Yeah.
He has a lot of stuff in his brain.
I like how he starts right
And
off.
pray
He's
for my
like-
wife. She's been with an alien hunter for 5 years.
He's like, that's an antagonistic question, like right off the bat. I'm like, oh shit,
Here we
We're
go.
here for a fight.
Off to the
Well,
races.
Steve told me to be combative or
I love
whatever
it.
he
We're
said.
ready.
Okay.
We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Pleasure to meet
Mayor,
you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
You're the
Steve,
best.
thank you.
Congratulations.
Do
on
you want me to
everything.
leave now?
No,
No,
we're
wrapping
closing
it
the
up.
show
Close the
Yeah.
sh- they're
You're with
gonna
us
close
all the way
it.
to the
Thanks,
end.
John, for
I
coming
sit here
on.
for the next 5 hours.
Yeah,
He's
so
never
you look
leaving.
great. You look great for 56, by the way.
Thanks,
We're like
pal.
the same age.
Well,
man.
no drugs, no smoking, no alcohol.
You're the man, dude. You can tell. Looking great. So
Clean living.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for being a great producer and lining up great guests. We again thank John Stewart for coming in. We appreciate his energy and excitement and on this Halloween. Lindsay, thanks for dressing up. You look cute. That's
Thanks.
my daughter. She looks wonderful. Jay Vez, great job on the production. And but
I
there
don't
was a
look
lag
cute,
on.
too.
Hey man, there was a lag on the
You
last
look
show,
cute, John.
and you did a good job of keeping it out of the production. By the way, John. I didn't realize he kept slowing us down. I realized when I listened to it. So good job on the last show,
Texted
John.
us.
And thanks to the Compass for leading us in the right direction as always. And coming to you from Mayor Tom, the Locomotive. Thanks for listening to Lockpod. Season 10, Episode 16. We'll be back on Friday with another great show.
Trust no one. Aliens are real.
Aliens are real. Lockpod.